the team. Quality defender. Nothing goes past her. She clears everything up. Can't say a lot about her. Everybody knows Jade. She's just known all over the place. That's Jade.
Footy25 here, back again, and again I have the privilege to, share these stories amongst some of my nearest and dearest friends. I'm trying to think where we met. It must have been, the fact that I was at Arsenal, she was at Arsenal, and we had a lot of mutuals in common. I think Abs. I don't remember. I think probably Abs.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, because he was playing for Inter at the time and stuff. So
yeah, so it's probably Abs, and you girls, you guys, you guys thought you were like the cool crew back in the day. It was a lot of you lot, from your little northeast London area, and I think that's how I met you. And probably the earliest memory, I had a 16th birthday. You were there, and amongst all you and your other friends as well. So today I got with me Liverpool midfielder and also England youth midfielder Jade Bailey. A new segment which we're actually trying out today. So it's going to be called Underrated, Overrated. So we're going to ask Jade some, just some simple things that I know she, is within her, her bracket of what she may like or what she may not like. But we're going to see if she thinks it's underrated or overrated. So the first one is R&B. Is it underrated or overrated?
Underrated.
100%, I agree. I don't know if this is a thing in the women's game, but this is a thing in the men's game. So I wanna get your opinion on this. Designer wash bags when you're going to the games and you have that underneath your arm. Is that underrated or is that overrated?
Underrated.
Underrated. Seriously.
Like, we used to have to carry our kit at Liverpool. So like, what are you fitting in your wash bag? Like,
okay, no, you have your rucksack or whatever, your bag and stuff.
That, like, do you know what? Like, no one really does that. No one really designer like that to be, in women's football, it's not like that at all.
Okay, maybe people don't have that. Okay, so I was thinking, okay, it's just a men's thing, and I just see men.
Like, obviously, there's some players who will have a designer wash bag, but no one.
It's not a thing.
No, it's not a thing.
I think that's those memes in football and like those memes on I'm just bait or anything like that, and it has like things like footballers do or something. Wash bag is like one of them.
Do you know what? Yeah, there was a couple players when I was at Chelsea, who had their wash bag like that and would carry it like that, and we like a few of us would just be like why? Like, it's just not really a thing. Like, it's not a thing in women's football, like, to be carrying your designer wash bag like that. Like, it's just not. Like, it's that's a bit good. No.
Okay, that's good though. That's good. You don't have that mentality. Here at Footy25, we're proud to present you with the best football-specific content. We work with many companies and many ballers to give you, the viewers, the best content possible. You, the viewer, we're always looking to help you improve your skill set. In order for you to improve your skill set and for us to keep making these videos, please click the link down below and buy some equipment. The equipment helps us run this channel, and also you subscribing to the channel helps us producing more of these videos to help you with your skill set and your knowledge of the game. Thank you for supporting Footy25. I've got fake ones in, so they're AirPods. AirPods, underrated, overrated.
Underrated.
Like AirPods, yeah? I've never actually had them, the real ones. I refuse to spend that much money on.
No, I don't have them. I don't have them. Like,
Cool.
I'm not really into all of that. Like, do you know what though? Yeah, someone, all my friends are always like to me, like, you need to get the earpods now. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Why have you still got the wire iPhone?
Yeah, that's what people say. People were
just,
saying to me.
I'm not bothered.
I'm not bothered either. I'm not bothered either.
Like, I don't care about all the latest stuff. Like,
Yeah.
if I like something, I'll get it. But like, if they come free with my iPhone. I don't need the earpods. But everyone's getting onto me, so you might see me with them soon.
Peer pressure. All right. London nights out, underrated or overrated? London specifically.
Overrated.
I'd agree. Liverpool
Wait.
nights out. Oh, go on. Say what you have to say.
That's a hard one. Because do you know what it is? Because now I'm up here, when I go home, you kind of do want like a London night out, but it is kind of overrated. I prefer nights out, but yeah, up here.
Okay, I was going to ask Liverpool nights out, overrated or underrated?
Well, it's not even Liverpool anymore. It's Manchester. That's the new place.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm not in the new school. You know.
You don't get.
I don't get out that much no more, so I wouldn't know.
Underrated.
But, okay, we'll just use that as up north. So up north, underrated, overrated. You said underrated, and I would 100% agree. Chinese takeaway, overrated or underrated?
Overrated. Underrated.
What's your favorite takeaway?
I like Thai.
Thai, exactly.
Takeaway, I always get Thai now.
Thai, yeah. And people would think, oh, what's the difference? There's a big difference.
There's a big difference.
A big difference. The flavors, the spices, and everything like that. It's just, yeah. And especially for my dietary.
No. Are you still vegan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
am. All right. Next question. Socks with sliders, underrated or overrated?
Huh? What?
So you got sliders. Like flip flops.
Oh, yeah.
Or it's not flip flops. It's sliders. Like the Adidas one, whatever it comes with. But with socks, overrated or underrated?
Overrated.
So you'll actually, pull out the toes and everything like that.
Yeah, like I'm not bothered. Like if I go into training and stuff, obviously I just put my socks on, put my sliders on and whatever. But yeah, I'm not really. I don't mind. It depends. Like if you're just like putting them on casually to go to the shop, cool. But like you see some people like when it's like really really hot, like that's not a thing.
Yeah, well, for me anyway, I'm a nice person, so I don't want to show other people my feet. So I just choose to put my socks on, just for the better of society,
Yeah, scary.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, and here I do it, and in Canada, everyone will laugh at me. They'll be like, "What is that?" Like type of thing, but I'll be like, back home, it's like,
it's a norm.
It's a norm, innit? Like, you know what I mean? So, this one, I don't know if you do it in the women's game as well. You got to tell me. Cutting your socks, your football socks.
I personally don't do it, but yeah, like they do it in.
Okay, yeah. Underrated or overrated?
Overrated.
I agree. I don't do it either. As long as I have socks that are, long enough to cover my knees, I'm good to go.
I have to have the socks that cover my knees, but I'm not really bothered.
Yeah, same.
I don't have like weird things like that. Like some people, when it has like the left and right.
Yeah. You're not bothered.
Like,
I used to
be bothered about anything like that.
I used to not be bothered. So weirdly, with that, it has the left and right. I wear left, and I wear right. but if I have left and right, I'm gonna put it on left and right. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I have two left, I'll wear the socks, and if I have two right, I'll wear the socks. But if it's like left and right, how it's supposed to be, I'll put it on the exact same foot. That's how I am. So I'm not bothered, but if it's there and it tells you how to do it, I'll do it. You know what I mean?
Do you have like superstitions? Is that what?
Yeah. So with me, it's to do with socks actually. So probably why I actually wear long socks. I always like before games, you always see me like getting the sock, going like that, like stretching it, like behind my back, like just stretching the sock, like just for like 10 minutes. I don't know why. I can't tell you why, but that's the thing I do before games, and kind of stretches my back and like, you know, my body out as well. So that's what I do before games. Okay. Last two, dressing in all white, underrated. Actually, let's do two. Dressing in black and dressing in white, underrated, overrated. So 2-part question.
If I had to choose, like I'm always usually in black. So all white, like, I mean, for girls, I don't think that's really a bad thing. Like, for girls to all white. So, but if I had to pick out of both of them, like, I feel like for a guy dressing in all white, no, that's not. That's not cool.
Nah, but what if, you know, you see some guys, like, okay,
no,
maybe
like,
they're.
white jeans and that. The white jeans. If it's like a white party, or if you had to, then cool. But
yeah, you're not really on it. No. All right. Last.
All whites
go on.
over. Go on.
No, go on. You said all whites. What?
Yeah, like no, that's not really a thing.
Well, fair
Why?
enough.
But you feeling it?
Nah, I actually wasn't. I've worn it before, but that's been at white parties. So, but like I'm saying, I think I've pulled it off a couple of times. But with me, I'm the same way. So I'm all black.
Really?
Yeah, I'll send you a few. I'll send you a few pictures after this. 100%. I pulled it off. Trust me. But yeah. Last question. Women's football, overrated, underrated?
Underrated.
Yeah. Why would you, or not why, explain the reason why you feel like that?
I just feel like it's always compared to the men. Like always compared to men, where I don't get why it's compared to the men. It's completely different. Like we get that. Like why can't we just have our own separate sport? We get that the men have more fans, more money, more everything, but we're not trying to be compared to them. We just want our own game. I think where women's football is going as well, it's continuing to get bigger, and definitely I think like now you'll see like more girls growing up and saying that they want to
exactly want to be a football. Yeah,
definitely more televised. Definitely, like I know that so many more people, it's out there for more people to watch, but I just think like once it's compared to the men, it's just.
Shall I tell you what is it's two things that I think that is the cause of like this whole discussion and everything. Like I'm here in Canada, and it's so normal for girls to play football, and it should be so normal to do whatever you want to do, you know? Like as you said, you treat it like just obviously it's the same sport, but it's just two different categories of the sport, you know?
Yeah.
Same as in you know, how you have in tennis, you know, so there's Serena and there's Roger Federer and Nadal, or there's Serena and the Canadian girl who beat Serena, I forgot her name. But yeah, there's just two different things, and no one talks about that, you know, like it's not a thing to be spoken about. But I think, shall I tell you what it is? I think from my experiences with being around people and everything like that, I feel like you said, raising girls to want to play football and have the courage to say they want to play football was a thing back in the day, because, you know, maybe some parents would be like, oh, my daughter's not playing football,
Yeah.
you know, that's for Jack the Lad type of thing, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think that was a reason. And then, you know, it's probably the same in America, where you have, well, not really, because Americans, they have a really good girls team. But I mean, like, in America, their number one sport is like NFL. Like, that's how they see it, right?
Mm.
And I think that's the new discussion in sports that's going on now, that like they didn't want women to play NFL. And it's the same thing leading back to maybe 10 years ago or something like that, where people thought it wasn't like, it's actually crazy to say it, people thought it wasn't right for women to play football. You know, it's
Mm.
actually crazy. So I feel like it's just like, you know, men being too, you know, I don't know, too involved in just, you know, things that have nothing to do with them. Because at the end of the day, like, if it's safe enough for men to play the sport, it's safe enough for women to play the sport. If it's good enough for the men to play the sport, it's good enough for the woman to play the sport. So I feel like should just leave it as that, really.
That's just down to like equality, basically. I think in women's football we're always driving for that, but like I said, we're not saying that, like, there's equality in different forms,
Mm-hmm.
and we're not saying that we should be paid the same as men. We're not saying that it's not really. Yeah, we should be paid better. That
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
but we're not saying we're on the level as the men, because we don't have that. Like, do you know what I mean? We don't have as many fans coming to the game. We don't bring in as much money commercially. But it just comes down to like having the same things as them, as facilities, like the standards of pitches. That's what we're kind of still trying to fight for. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the main things. I think everyone always compares it, but let's just have, if we want to play football, we should be able to play football. Do you know what I mean?
100%. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Very good.
How you been doing during quarantine? I know it's hard for some people. You know, they're not really used to, especially footballers. They're not really used to being inside and you know, away from their normal routine. But what type of things have you been doing?
Do you know, I think it was really hard at first. I think for everyone, just like the realization of having to be stuck indoors, and only being able to get outside like for an hour a day. So I think at first I was just really bored. I didn't know how to kind of cope with it. I think I didn't have a routine though, so I'm so used to having a routine. So once I got into a routine, obviously we've got programs sent out, so following our training programs to keep fit, because obviously you don't know when you're actually going to be back into football. So doing that, just getting to spend time with my family as well, because I think I moved out when I was about 16, 17. So I've actually been away from home for years now. So it's actually been nice to like spend time with family as well. And I think, yeah, and I was doing my program and stuff, but then I was coming home and I wasn't really like occupying myself with anything. So I was thinking, like, what can I actually do? What's going to actually better me, like within football and stuff like that? So I started to like analyze like all my games and stuff, and and also the team. And I do that anyway after the games, but I was going into detail so I could like see trends and like also like trying to scout the other team as well. And I've actually like really enjoyed it. I'll probably do like 2 games a week. But like I've actually like really enjoyed it, which is quite surprising, because sometimes like going through that stuff might be boring to some people. But it's actually nice that we've had a break from football as well, because sometimes when you analyse stuff or whatever,
you're quite, maybe you've lost the game or something, so you're quite emotional, you don't really want to do it. So like actually doing it now has actually been like so much better. And I think that, yeah, that's actually helped me, and I feel like it's helped me to know the game better as well. So doing that's actually been good. Like I could see myself actually doing something. I don't know. I've enjoyed it, so we'll see what comes of it. But yeah,
Love it, love it, love it, love it.
Understanding. Yeah.
Are you a player who's hard on yourself, or are you somebody where you kind of, you know, take it as it comes and you be like, okay, you know, maybe we lost that game, or maybe I didn't play well that game, move to the next, or does it kind of carry with you, would you say?
I feel like I am quite hard on myself. If I had a bad game, like until I've gone through it and stuff, I have to go through the game. Like I said, sometimes not straight away, but I'll have to go through it. And obviously, you know when you've had a bad game as well. But yeah, I feel like sometimes it does hold on to me. So once I've analysed it and I know it might have been a little thing what might have gone wrong, but once I've like gone through it and I can like, I feel like that's when I put a line under it, once I've gone through it and I know what I need to improve on or something. But yeah, I definitely would say that I'm quite hard on myself. But that's, if you want to be the best, I suppose that's something, yeah, like everyone would be quite hard on and critical of their performance. I'd say like I'm quite a perfectionist in that way, like stuff what I'm good at, I have to be good at every game. So yeah, I'd probably.
Yeah, I've been, during quarantine, I've been watching a lot of like sports documentaries and things to do with sport and stuff, and we all share similar qualities and similar attributes. One being like Michael Jordan. I don't know if you've seen that, but you know, the way he works and the way he commits himself to the game. And I've been watching Formula One as well, which is interesting, like a totally different sport, and they're quite similar as well. So I feel like, you know, if you want to be the best, then you have to do these little things. And that's quite interesting because nobody's actually told me during this time that they've been doing things like that away from the club, you know. So that's a you know, testament to you, because you know your season's kind of, well, it's finished, right? And you know, how was that news, and how did you take it?
Well, it's not like been finalised, but I think it is going to be finished. I think just like coming away from football, I think like it was dragging, like we wasn't getting an answer. Some teams, obviously, in the men's league, they had like a date where they could maybe start potentially small group training, but with the women's league it was completely different. We've literally been told a date and then we can't do it, then we can. I think it just comes down to money, really. We don't have, well, it's going to cost teams for the testing and stuff a lot of money. So I think in women's football, the amounts what it's going to cost, it's not really worth carrying on the league. And also I think just for like on safety reasons, a lot of people like in the league, players didn't feel safe going back. They thought it was kind of selfish that some people, like key workers and stuff, they're out there working and they don't even get the testing. So I think that was a big thing in like women's football, that they just didn't feel safe, and it was quite a selfish thing to do. Obviously it's no, like we all want to get back to football, but I think sometimes there's a bigger picture. So once we definitely get the fact like it's finalised, then I think it's just going to be better off for everyone, really.
Yeah, it's a hard one because, you know, it's the same as, you know, comparing some, you know, it's all to do with financial. If you have the financial gains and people with money kind of putting their hands in their pockets, then that will basically get it done. But you see now in like, they've finished non-league in England, you know, I think League Two as well, I'm pretty sure, and multiple other leagues in the world. And they just said, you know what, it's best for everyone's safety and financially to just end the season. You know, if you had a choice, you know, and they said to go out and play, would you feel safe at the moment, or would you just be like, you know what, it's
If
not
it was
really.
if it was safe to do so, like there's nothing I want more than to go back to training. But like I said, there is a bigger picture, and there's other people. There's still people dying. There's still people who can't get their tests, and they're working on the front line. So, for those reasons, probably not. I wouldn't.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Yeah. So, anything else you've been doing during quarantine? You said, you know, you and your teammates have a Zoom call that you do together.
So, yeah, Zoom call. So we have to do like 2 group workouts as a team. So that's usually like yoga and core.
A day?
And then obviously, sorry?
A day or a weekly?
No, so once a week we'll do yoga and core. So that's quite a nice routine, getting in to do a session together. And then we will do like bake-offs and stuff. So once a week we've just started doing that. So it's been the last 3 weeks. So we'll do, like, last week we did a bake-off. This week we did a cooking competition where I literally just finished. Which is nice to just like regroup as a team and like have a bit of banter, and yeah, it's just about coming together because we haven't seen each other for months now. So that's actually been quite good. And also we do coffee club as well, which is, I haven't woken up for that one yet.
Is it coffee class?
I missed that. But yeah, and like quizzes and stuff, which is, yeah, it's been nice actually.
That's nice. Yeah, I wish I could get some of the guys involved and do something like that, but I think people are just, maybe they're too exhausted from all the other Zoom calls and things like that anyway, and all the other workouts they have to do. So yeah, it's a bit different.
Yeah, at first I feel like, oh, do I have to do it? Like, do you know what I mean? You feel at first, the first couple of weeks, but it's actually good. And like I said, it it helps the routine as well, that, you know, at these times you've got those calls. So yeah, it's been nice.
Are you kind of a structured, scheduled person anyway, where if you're in season, you're the type of person that the alarm clock's going off and you're not pressing snooze or anything, you're up, you're ready to go? Or are you somebody where everybody's like, oh, come on, Jade, like, why are you taking so long?
No, I'd say I'm quite organised, and like, yeah, once I'm up, I'm up. I think on football days I'm very much like that. When I've got to go to training, I am quite chilled though, but I do like to like be places on time and stuff like that. So yeah.
All right, cool. All right, let's go back to the start. How this all started for you. So were you born in Walthamstow?
Yeah, so I was born in Walthamstow, or Leytonstone. Living in Walthamstow, still there. My mum's still there. Yeah, so yeah, went to school in Walthamstow as well.
Yeah, and I know in that area, your uncle played football, right?
Yeah, so my uncle played football. My dad also played football, and obviously they run a football school and football academy sort of club. So yeah, that's where I like started to play football and got into it. I didn't always want it, like, it kind of just happened one day, like at one of his football schools. He didn't have enough players one day, so like, me to join in, and that's actually how I started to play football. I kind of just enjoyed it from there. I don't think there was a time when I actually would go in there to play football. It was kind of like they ran out of players, so put me in.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and I played for Interwood from, I think, the age of 6. until 11. So that's 11. Obviously, I played in the boys' team, was the only girl. But I think that wasn't like a real big thing. I think because I was good, they just treated me like one of them sort of thing. And then once you get to a certain age, I think it's once you get to 12, you have to go on to play women's football.
Yeah.
So like I feel like I played when like under 11s, under 10s. Inwood used to play a lot of academy teams. So probably like that's where I might have played you when I was playing for Inwood,
maybe, yeah.
And then that's when I signed for Arsenal, not under 12s. So
yeah, I remember playing Inwood, so I know how, you know, people don't know, so you're gonna have to explain for them or to them how, you know, in that area, how many footballers came through there, maybe not playing now, but still they made it to academies, and the level of players they had there was really good. It was weird, like you had Intwood and then you had Broadwater Farm along with a couple others as well. So how was that playing for that type of kind of schooling, football schooling, and especially under your dad and your uncle? How did they kind of get you into it in terms of saying, "Oh, is this what you want to do? You have to go through these steps and everything like that," or was it just like you just took a liking to it? Or I know you said that, you know, you kind of got in by accident, like in terms of, you know, there wasn't enough numbers and you joined, but did you always admire your dad and your uncle for playing football?
Yeah, I'd say so. Like, I think it was kind of not easy for me, but because they run the team, it wasn't like anyone would make me feel any different to like being a girl playing with boys. And I think definitely playing with boys helped me like become the player I am, because physically, do you know, they're stronger, they're quicker. So that definitely like helped shape me into the player I am. It was always one step like going into girls football. Then it was always one step ahead. I think that the like caliber of players what we had, like our team was so good. I don't know, like we won the London Cup. I don't know, that was like a big thing. Like growing up, we won like every year you could play it. We basically won like every game.
So two things from there that I got is, you know, how you play now is you're very, you know, very cultured player, very technical based, great passing, great technique. And without saying, you know, out of everybody I know who plays football, you have one of the best technique, you know, as a player. So would you say that you got it from playing with the boys from that age, or, you know, where did that come from?
Definitely playing with the boys. I think when I was younger, I was actually a centre back as well. So
really?
Yeah, like, so getting on the ball from the back and being able to play out, I was always composed. I always had a good passing range. But I'd say that also came from my coaching from when I was younger. So having my dad and my uncle as a coach and the boys around me, like that's something you was installed on to be good on the ball. So then going into the women's game, it kind of become easy for me. So yeah, I'd definitely say playing with boys has definitely helped me. But I think the transition wasn't, I was always better than my age group with the girls, but because I signed for Arsenal, they're kind of basic standards what the women's academy kind of set for us. So the women's academy are always good on the ball. We always had the ball longer than any other team. So that passing, like that playing style kind of definitely suited me.
Yeah.
So it was, yeah.
Was it a big deal at that age when, you know, I don't know I don't know if they made the rule for you, or if, for example, they had the rule in place before you got to like 12 years old. How was that when you kind of reached that age and then they said, okay, you're not allowed to play boys football anymore? Like, how did you feel at that age?
Obviously, you grow up playing with all the boys, so you kind of course, I was going to miss playing with them. But I do think when it comes to a certain age, there's a certain age where you can play with boys up to, and then there's a certain age where you can't really compete physically. So I do think 11 is still quite young, and I think now they've changed it to 15, where
Really?
so now in girls' academies they can play against boys' teams. So on the weekend you play against, I don't know, a Tottenham girls team, but now you can actually play against boys. I don't know if it's boys' academies, but it's boys like good Sunday league teams. So I think the age now is 15. But I do think there's an age limit where you can't really compete. But yeah, I do remember kind of vividly, like, I think I was one of the, like, in the boys team, I was one of the best players there as well. So there was definitely, the club itself was like a family. So there's definitely like, I definitely missed that side of playing, but I didn't feel like, I think because I was signing for Arsenal and everyone knows about Arsenal women's, I think it was just like, yeah, like it's my time now to step away from that and continue on to the women's football.
Do you remember the game that you got scouted in, or what was the process moving to Arsenal?
So I think it was just playing against the boys' academy teams. I can't remember the man's name at Arsenal. You'll probably remember. Is it Roy?
Massey.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
my dad. So he knew of me and literally just put me in touch. And I think I went to one session, and after that I signed straight away. But I was still playing boys football at the time, I think. So they kind of allowed me to still play with the boys until I got to the age of 12, and then I kind of had to like come away from the boys team and then play with the girls.
So you were there from 12 years old to 16 years old until you got your scholarship. How did you fit in at the time? And was it like playing with Interwood and being in a different environment, you know, playing for Arsenal? Did that kind of blow your mind in terms of, oh, wow, I'm at Arsenal now?
Yeah, I think so. I think just because, like I was saying before, Arsenal women, they won everything. Like they're still one of the best women's teams in the world. So like signing for them, I'd say signing my first professional contract with them was like a dream come true. But it was, like I said, it was easy. I think the style that they played, we won everything from a young age. You got a like sense of that winning mentality. You didn't want to lose because Arsenal basically never won, never lost. So you kind of got that winning mentality from early. But yeah, I wouldn't say it was a big transition. I just think that I was always better, so I often got to train up and play up with 2 years up. So
Oh,
I think
serious?
if it wasn't I was always playing 2 years up. So maybe if I was at my age group, it would be different. But I was training under 14s. I was always training with the under 16s and playing some games with the under 16s. So yeah, I was always getting tested. I'd say I was getting tested there when I was playing up. And then after 16, I went to the Arsenal Academy. But once it got to the Arsenal Academy, I think that's where I really got a real taste of being a professional, because I was always the one who got to train with the first team. I basically became a first team player from joining the academy. So I'd train at the academy, would go to school, train in the afternoons, and then I'd always go to my sessions with the first team. I was probably like the only one in my age group who got picked, which was like it was amazing, because you was amongst some of the best women's footballers there is, or what you would have known on the Rachel Yankees, Kelly Smith.
Yeah,
So,
wow.
yeah, I think just being able to learn from them every day, being amongst that, you just got a taste of being a professional footballer. Obviously back then, those times it wasn't actually full time, so they was only training 3 times a week, and they would always train during the night. But yeah, that's what, to me, what a professional footballer was.
Yeah. How did you find that, and like what kind of things do you remember during that time when you first made the step up to train with them and things like that?
I think at first it's always a little bit daunting, but I think in women's football, it might be different to yours, but there's always those older senior players. Even everyone was nice and welcoming, really. I think there's not really people back then, wasn't that many people with big egos or anything. It was just the women's team, even though they won everything. Yeah, it was. I wouldn't say. Yeah, it was just easy, really. They treated me like and respected me. I think maybe because I was good as well. So
Good,
maybe
exactly. Yeah,
I think that helps because you're not, even though you're young, you're not messing up the session. So I think
exactly.
it's down to kind of respect in a way. They know that you have potential, so they was always like take you under your wing and stuff. If you
Yeah.
get what I mean.
No,
So
that must have been a good. Well, he probably didn't realize it back then, but you know, speaking about it now, that's a good sign. You know, when you're a young player or any player, you go into a new situation and people are warming to you. You know, they are very encouraging to you. I think it's like that in. Doesn't matter if it's men or women. It's like that in any capacity. You know, so I know there's been times where you go into new situations. Like I went in, well, 2 situations. I go into a situation. Maybe at West Ham. And, you know, I felt like the older senior players to me were very warming and everything like that. But then I went to Germany, and even players my own age, like just for the fact that I didn't really speak the language and things like that and understand. And that was very frustrating for them. So I know how it is for both sides, you know.
maybe, yes, yeah, it was. I think yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. So, you know, there's many things that happened during that time. One, that you got picked to play for England. Like, how was that first? Like, do you remember your first game? How that was, and the build up to that?
Yeah, I think I was 13 when I got picked to play for the under 15s. I think it was.
Wow.
I think the first game was against France at Lillyshaw, and obviously it's amazing being able to like get picked for your country is something what I think everyone every footballer wants to do, play for their country, be able to play for their country. So I think being picked, that's like it was. I was a young age to play for the under 15s as well. It was just like a dream come true. And I remember, yeah, it was at Lillyshaw, and I think a few of the players now playing in that game are actually playing for the seniors now, or maybe
Mm.
two of the girls now are playing for the seniors. They were a little bit older, but yes, it was amazing. I played from most of the huge age groups from 15 to the under 23s. And yeah, I just think playing for England is, playing for your country is just amazing. Something what, most people aspire to do.
Yeah, I know for many people, you know, especially that age, it's like the pinnacle, right, for a youth player. So playing for them, it must have been big, and obviously you get to travel for the first time, probably. I don't think actually no. I traveled before playing tournaments and stuff, but it was the first time, you know, you're playing against just the best of the best, and it's just a great feeling, you know. So you're doing all of that, and then when you're 16, I was reading. Actually, I remember. So, but I remember I researched it just leading up to this interview. So the Olympics, how did that come up? Where you got picked to be like an ambassador and things like that for like 2012 Olympics? That must have been big as well.
Yeah, I think they wanted someone from Waltham Forest, and obviously that's where David Beckham was from. And I think my name just came forward, and I remember just getting the call. I think it was like a week, 2 weeks before the actual opening ceremony. I think I was out with my mum, and I literally just got a call and they was like, do you want to be involved in it? And I was just thinking yeah, I do, but do you know what I mean? Like, they didn't really give me much information on the phone.
Okay, you just thought you were just going to be there, turn up or something.
Yeah, no, they were like, do you want to be involved? Can I speak to one of your parents? A car will pick you up tomorrow. So I was just like, Mum, like, is this for real? Like, I don't really get it. I don't get it. They
Typical
picked
you.
us up the next day. Took us to like the studios and stuff where they were filming some parts of the ceremony, or like some of like the dancers were practicing rehearsals. And then there was like you've like been chosen to be on the boat with Beckham. And I was just like,
that's when you knew, right?
God, just like I don't even know what I said. I think with me, you know how I am, so chilled. I was like, oh really, blah blah blah. But when I got in the car with my mum, I was gassed. But yeah, and then like 2 days later, they was like, you've got to have some close-ups. Like, you've got to go and meet him, chill with him, and have the close-ups. So some of what you saw on the day, what was on TV, was actually pre-recorded.
Okay.
So like there were 2 days of like hair and makeup, meeting him, chilling with him. It was really nice and cool because he was just as well. So he made you feel like it was actually you who was like the big star of the action.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because everyone knew that he was going to have a role to play in it, but they didn't know. And I had to take time off school and football as well, I think, to like film some of it as well. And I wasn't allowed to tell anyone. So like when it was on TV, literally my phone just went off. Like it's actually amazing, like, to be a part of like history. So
yeah, I was talking about stuff like the other day, and one of the things I was talking about the other day was basically when you're at that age and your life is moving so quickly like that, and just you get achievement after achievement after achievement. Like, did you realize, you probably did back then, right? But do you realize now, like, wow, I was involved in something like that. I got chose to do something like that with one of the biggest stars in the world.
I think at first, definitely, I didn't really get it. But like, till this day, people still ask me in interviews, like, how was it? And I think it's only now, like, I realise, like, it's a part of history. Like, it's actually amazing thing. Like, you should be proud to talk about it. Like, you got chosen. Where usually I think before I just kind of brush it off, like it's not really a big deal. But being chosen out of so many people, of course it's a big deal. You should actually be able to talk about it. And so it's actually cool.
Yeah, so moving on from there, continuing to talk about England, how was it playing in your first World Cup? And, that whole experience, was it in some country far away? I can't remember where it was. Where was it? Where was it held?
The World Cup?
Yeah. Sorry, say it again.
It was in Canada.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
So
yeah.
There was elite rounds, went to the Euros. But yeah, the World Cup was actually the Under-20s World Cup. And of course, it's amazing going to a World Cup, but I didn't actually play many games. I think I came on once. So I think at the time, I think I deserved that. I think I should have got the opportunity to play in a few of the games. I was doing well. I was at Arsenal. I was playing first team football, starting most of the games. So I think I should have got more of an opportunity at the World Cup. But of course, it's amazing to be picked for it. But I think being part of the squad and playing are two different things. I think when you're on the bench, you don't. In that competition, I didn't really get a sense of being a part of the team. Maybe when I was young, we didn't really understand about how to create a team and how to include all players. But of course, like, it's amazing that I got the opportunity to go to Canada and to a World Cup, but I don't have the best memories of it, to be honest.
Yeah, I understand. Wait, were you you weren't like 20 though, like when you got picked?
No, I must have been 18.
Yeah, you were young. I remember you were a bit younger than like the age for the tournament.
Yeah, I was probably one of the younger ones, if I can remember. Yeah, I think I
But
was.
you know, sometimes that's how it goes. You know, football is a bit unfair
You know,
like that.
you know what? I think that coming back from that actually helped drive me forward, because I think after that competition, I think we then had. I was playing for Arsenal then as well, so I think coming back, I just wanted to prove people wrong, I'd say. So I came back and I was still starting for the first Arsenal first team. So yeah, I think that actually gave me a bit of a drive and push to prove those people wrong.
Yeah, so like you said, you know, you had a great time at Arsenal being so young. People don't realize, like, during when you're in that time and you're moving at 100 miles per hour, like I said before, you don't realize actually what you're achieving, right? So you're starting most of the games, etc. You win a FA Cup also with Arsenal. Like,
Yeah,
just
so
your first FA Cup, how was that? And where was that held?
the first FA Cup, oh my God. I don't know where it was. I think it might have been at Doncaster. I came on as a sub. I think it was in 2000. I want to say it was just after the Olympics. I think it was 2013. As a sub, I was still only 17, probably one of the youngest players to come on.
So you moved to Chelsea, you know, another big team, and I think this is the time where Chelsea, they're kind of building their team and getting a lot of players in that, you know, you may know and you may recognize. How was that to play with a lot of good players again and be in a new environment? Being at Arsenal, you were there for, you know, your whole teenage childhood, and then now you're in a whole different environment.
The back of actually me being at Arsenal, the last season I was there, I didn't actually play. I was in and out of the team, so I've gone from starting every game to being in and out of the team. And when I first got my first professional contract at Arsenal, Chelsea actually wanted to sign me.
Okay.
But I stayed at Arsenal. It's a team what I support. Do you know what I mean? So I wanted to stay there. But when I did get the move to Chelsea, it was like it was from the season they just won the double. So they won the FA Cup and the league. So I think going there, I knew like Chelsea were kind of taken over from Arsenal now. So I was going to another top team, different environment where the manager, she was really building a culture to do with the whole culture at Chelsea was just completely different. He wanted to kind of come away from like it was going into like a professional environment. So when I signed for Chelsea, it was full time. She wanted us to have all the same sort of facilities, building towards as the men. So it wasn't Chelsea ladies, it was more of a
Chelsea Football Club.
Yeah, Chelsea Football Club. So whatever the men got, she was kind of creating that and building towards that.
Yeah.
So I knew I was going to another top team, and I think that first year when I was at Chelsea, I think I made around 18 appearances. So I wasn't a definite starter, but I definitely came
Played your role.
Yeah, and I definitely got to learn from was learning still from some of the best players, and I was still young. I was only just turned 19, I think. So obviously being at a different team, you're trying to learn their sort of style of play again, similar to Arsenal, but They had like some real winners in their team as well, some top players. So I wouldn't say it was. I would say it was. I was changing, becoming a real professional training day in out. So yeah. So I think that was different. It was obviously my body to adapt into the change of only training twice a week. So that was the real difference, that I was a professional footballer.
I went through similar, like probably twice in my kind of youth, moving from Arsenal to moving to West Ham. For me, that was very different because Arsenal was all what I knew, and then I'm training, like you said, 3 times a week, 4 times a week max, to training every single day, and like the intensity is a bit different and the style of play is a bit different. So I can totally relate to what you went through, and you know, just what was different. What was the differences going from Arsenal to Chelsea in terms of the way they play, training facilities, structure, you know, money, things like that? What was the big differences?
I think they were investing a lot in the women's team, and I think that did come from the success of the last season. But she was slowly building a team, and it wasn't just the players; it was actually staff around her, that their like mentality, and it was like it's hard to explain, but the team what she had around her really contributed to her as a manager as well. And I think it's all well and good, like you having the players, they want to win, but I think it's really important that the staff have the same drive as well, because it could be the physios, it could be the coaching staff. They've got to be wanting to work as hard as the players.
Yeah, of course.
To stay extra, do you know what I mean? To help. It could be the welfare officer, to build that culture and that team. I think the investment, her as a manager, really helped. I think what the team from 3 years ago when I was there, 3-4 years ago to now, is one of the best women's teams to be at. It's one of the top teams, and I think that's just the whole environment itself, and what they've built there is really good.
Yeah, I remember I was in Germany at the time. I went to watch you play in a Champions League game. I don't think you came on that game, but you know, just being involved in tournaments like that or competitions like that, and you know, the level you're involved in now, like how was that? You know, and also you guys made it to FA Cup final as well. I think obviously you just came up short, but how was that, playing Champions League? You know, being involved at Wembley, and that's like my dream. You know.
Yeah, I think being involved in the Champions League is it's amazing, because you get to travel, being in one of the top competitions where everyone wants to win. You're amongst the best players, best teams. So I remember, I think we was playing Wolfsburg that game. Really tough team, Wolfsburg, German team. And I think you're just you know that you're at that level now, that you're playing top players, around the top players and top teams. So that's always good. And that, I think that was the second year when we played at Wembley. So the women's FA Cup never used to be held at Wembley, not until that season what Chelsea won. So then the year after, when we played against Arsenal, I came up short. I wasn't in the squad, and I think that hurt actually, because I was getting everyone to come down and support me, but I wasn't in it. And I thought, do you know what? Next year, I don't want that same feeling again. Like I want to make that team, and I want to start at Wembley. Do you know? But
Yeah.
I think actually now that the women's final should always be played there.
So you're at Chelsea, and how many WSLs did you win when you were there?
We won one WSL, so we won the double the second year I was there. We won the league and the FA Cup, but the league I actually got there was when I actually signed. We didn't win anything that year, so we've gone from a real big high to a low.
Yeah.
So that season when we took the low, we knew that next year, like,
had to be.
We had to, and I think sometimes it's quite hard once you win everything. I think it's really hard sometimes to keep that level, because the year after everyone wants to beat you. Everyone wants that success. So I think from having that dip, we as a team, we knew that we can't have that dip again. We want to go again and win everything, which was the mentality of the team. It just showed the mentality of our team.
Yeah. So coming to the end of your time there, what was your decision? Really and truly, you know, you're making the best decision for yourself, and you know what you think is the best for your career. But at the time, do you feel like, you know, maybe I could have stayed, or do you feel like it was the right thing to do, moving away and going to play for Liverpool? Also, the first time you would be living away from like
London.
far away from your family. So how was that whole decision making and experience?
Well, the second year when I was at Chelsea, that's when I got injured and I done my ACL. So I was out for around 17 months in total. I had 3 ops. I thought like it was such a hard time, because I was always on a high. Never really been injured, winning, playing week in, week out, always healthy. So I think from that year, it was a real down point, because you're injured, you're out, you're seeing everyone around you train, playing. It was really, really difficult to experience such a big injury, and my first big injury. So that was such a difficult time for me, really, and I never thought I'd really get back, because my injury was so serious. I had after my second op, I was just thinking, like, am I actually going to get through this? Am I going to be able to play again? But I think the mentality of just having that real love of football inside me really helped get me back on the pitch. So I was out for around 17 months, and I think I just needed to get back playing. I think towards the end, I went on loan for 4 to 5 months at Reading.
Yeah.
I went on loan for 4 to 5 months, trying to get my fitness back, played a few games, and I kind of knew that I needed a lot of games under my belt. So I think getting the move from Liverpool, it's like I kind of needed to get away from home, and just enjoy playing football again, play as many games as I can, build my fitness, and from this season kind of build something that I'm back playing, be recognised again. I think staying at Chelsea would have never been good for me, because being out for that so long, you just need to play games, really.
So you moved to Liverpool. Did you realise like just the velocity of the city and the club? I know you were familiar with it before in terms of the city, but in terms of the club, did you know how big Liverpool is and how seriously they take football?
Honestly, like the fans here and the city, I literally just love it. Like I remember this season when we I've been to a few of the men's games and went to the derby. but the Champions League nights here are just unbelievable, and like everyone in the city loves Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? It's just like mad. The fans are mad, but everyone is actually behind you. And we got the chance to play at Anfield this season in front of 28,000 fans. And I think remember just walking out and they was playing You'll Never Walk Alone. It was just like mad. Like I can't even explain it. Just the feeling what you got. You was like you're playing for Liverpool. You're playing for
goosebumps.
Yeah, goosebumps. Like it was amazing. I think from that day, that's when I really like understood like how it is to play for Liverpool, and you just get like that passion inside you that you want to go out and you want to win. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think when you're playing for them, that's when you get that sort of feeling.
Yeah. So, you know, I said this the other day because I spoke to Jerome about this. You don't realize until you go there, right? And do you feel like a sense of pride now in terms of actually putting on the shirt and everything and playing for Liverpool? And you know, there's a lot of history in the city and everything. Like, do you realize like you as a player and as a club, you know, you should always strive to be ambitious. Of course, you play football, you know, we're all competitors. We always want to be the winners and, you know, be the best we can. But do you realize like you always have to keep your standards up because you're representing something bigger than you?
Yeah, but I feel like whatever team you should play, like you play for, you should have that inside you, like wanting to win for you and your teammates. So I wouldn't say like the club's bigger than you or whatever, like anything like that. I would just say like you definitely get that feeling that you're playing for Liverpool and you want to win.
So the season has gone, and obviously you said it's not official yet, but you basically are waiting to hear the final official call on what will happen with the season. So moving on to next season, what is your ambitions, you know, from this season, considering that maybe you guys didn't do as well as you thought you could have done, etc., and what you're looking forward to in the future?
I think I know that our team, the team that we have now, definitely we're good enough to where we're sitting right now in the table. Definitely doesn't show us as a team. I think we've got to. I think from carrying on from the games, but our last game in February, we just continue to get better. So it's actually a shame now that the season has ended. But I think like aspirations as a team, I think definitely do better than last year. Competition wise, to be in some of the competitions as well. And I think on a personal thing, I think this season was good for me because I've managed to stay healthy. I've got games under my belt, and I've definitely got that passion back that like I want to be a footballer. I think now it is just about getting better each game, performing to a level where I feel good at, and then hopefully, who knows if I get a senior call up then. But I think right now it's just about playing well for Liverpool. Like I said, getting that passion back, and then from then I think once you're performing well, things will start to eventually come.
Like I know yourself. You're a winner. You want to do the best you can every single game, and you know, I just wish you and your teammates the best of luck for next season. And thank you for coming on here and speaking with us. First WSL player on here, so That's something in itself. And I appreciate you coming on here as a friend and also a fellow professional in the game to share your story to all these children who may be watching. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for
3258. No worries, no worries. 3258, signing out.
For more content like this, like, share, and subscribe.